Good morning, good day, good night, good everything. Rhetorical Arts here, workout partner for your creative mind. And I'm happy that you guys are up in my morning. Not sure whatever time it is when you're going to be watching this, but for me it is like around 4 something in the morning here. And I'm just happy that you're here with me to accompany me on my workout. I'm heading to the gym right now. Gonna take me about an hour to get there, so I figured I'd take some of that time and yeah, walk with you guys. I want to talk a little bit more about the failure thing, and because it's something that I am learning, you know, in your water break that you received yesterday. We talked a lot about that, or not a lot, we talked for a minute briefly just about failure and about the need to have that be an option. And essentially what the video was trying to say is that if, you know, you're trying to do something that you haven't done before, if you're attempting to try to step into something that you don't fully know how to do, but that you truly really want to pursue, failure is an option. Failure is an option, and it's a good one. It's not a bad option, because again, when you fail, it will give you the details that you need to succeed in the bigger picture. You know, the missteps will make it so that you don't miss those steps again. The mistakes will allow you to take those things that you missed and use them to create the bliss that you want later on in your life. Will allow you to embrace the blisters that come with that bliss that you're going to build towards. So that is really important. But I wanted to get a little bit more into failure, and what happens when we fail, and why that can be really difficult. And what can we do to to deal with that sometimes hesitation to fail hard. And video games comes up again because, you know, one of my closest friends, you know, whenever we play video games, I was the dude that was always like, we need to play on the hardest mode. We gotta play on the hardest mode. And I've had a discussion with a couple of my friends about this, because, like, you know, one of the thought processes that has come into this conversation of playing video games on hard is that, well, a problem with some games is that they don't reward that. Like, they don't reward you for playing the game harder. You know, some games just don't reward you. They're just like, oh, well, you beat the game and it was harder. Yeah. Guess you pat yourself on the back. And it's like, the playing the game on hard in a video game, for me, I've always had the urge to do it because the reward wasn't about, like, the things you get. Like, oh, if I play the game hard, I'm gonna get a stronger, you know, I'm gonna get this unlock this character, or unlock this treasure. It was about the reward was me being able to bring out the fullest aspect of this character, and to take this character's abilities and use them fully. That's what playing the game on hard did for me, you know. And so we'd always push to do it, and it was always a lot more fun. It turned out to be a lot more fun whenever we did it, you know. Like, we would, yeah, man, me and my video game buddy in particular, yeah, we'd play, and, like, we would just be banging our heads against the wall some nights. Like, this, you know, especially growing up, there'd be just some nights where we'd be like, oh, screw this game, and like just wanting to throw the system out the window. But I didn't. And, you know, what's interesting about that is, I think, you know, something that makes failure potentially difficult for people, and for myself, is the urge of, when you try and you mess up, there is this urge to want to throw it out the window. Just throw it all out the window, to throw the system that you've built in your life out the window, to throw this game that you're playing, this thing that you want to do and pursue. You know, there's this urge sometimes, at least for me, there's been this urge to just throw it all out the window. To be like, oh, no, this is too damn hard, forget this, you know. Even recently, I've had this urge, you know, to be completely honest. Where it's just like, yeah, this is just too hard. Yeah, you know. And especially when for me in a video game industry, for like when you have just failed repeatedly in the game, you know, when it's just repeated, like, oh, I died again, oh, I died again, oh, I died again, oh, I died again. You're just like, do I really want to keep playing this game that seems futile? No, I'd rather not. There's other things I can do. And that's true in life too. Like there are other things you can do, right? Like other than that dream, other than that work of art, other than that book or that song or whatever comes along the lines of the things that you want to put your time and energy into. There are other options. Like, you don't have to do that. But I found whenever we beat the game, whenever we would just keep going, we would learn something. You know what I'm saying? There was a little detail in that level of that game that we didn't get before, or we didn't understand, you know? It caused us so it caused us to expand. It caused us to expand. To learn how to do a move better. To learn how to move better in the game. And, you know, this became something that helped me in my life. It helped me in my life. And it's something that helps me now. And so, however that shows up for you, however failure shows up for you, whatever that rinse and repeat cycle of failure seems to happen in your life, there is something that comes with not throwing it out the window. That you know, if you are actually actively pursuing the life that you want to live, and you're actively pursuing and working and doing that art and that artistry that you want to create, if you are directly and being intentional about the life that you want to live, there is a system that gets built in that process, and there is a game that you begin to play in that process. And regardless of whatever level that you're on, there is only one form of difficulty for something like that, and that's hard. That's hard. That is hard mode. That is the hardest mode, because that's one of the hardest things to do. Right? It's one of the hardest things to do, and it's when you do it, when you really start to do it. You know, failure becomes an option. Failure becomes an option. And it becomes a far more likely option for a little while. But eventually it's you start playing the game, and you begin to gain the moves, you begin to gain the code, you begin to know where to go. You begin to feel whether you should be turning left or turning right, and you get more precise. But you have to be playing the game on hard. You have to be playing the game on hard. And the reality is, that's the only difficulty, that level that you can play at, regardless of whatever level you're playing on. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. The more you continue to play the game, and the more that you continue to gain victories, the more you continue to complete levels, it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier. So I don't know what game you're playing. I don't know what level you're at. I don't know where you are, how far you've come into this game of art that you're trying to create. I don't know how far you are in the artwork of your life, in creating that, or creating one of the many pieces of that. But failure is an option. It's going to be. And I just encourage you to stay in this with me. To stay in this with me. Trust me, I need the encouragement too. I need the encouragement too. And the word encouragement is an interesting one, because you can't say about the word courage. You know, I've talked in a couple of these videos that at some point in many of the videos I've done, the word encouragement has come up, or encouraging you to do something. And, you know, it's an important word. It is an important word, because you can't say it or spell it without the word courage. It takes courage. And I think in the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about courage. I'm going to talk a little bit more about courage. So, or it might be yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about courage. So, man, I love you guys. I appreciate you taking the walk with me. And looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Peace.